Hello, I'm Nancy Minnie here with Madeira USA, and today we're going to be talking to Henry Rosario. Henry is an Army veteran who currently resides in Vermont with his wife and his two dogs. Since leaving the military, he has been working to continue his service, most recently in the field of social entrepreneurship. He believes the world can be a better place if we have the courage to make it so. I want to talk about that last sentence that you put in there because I think it's so true that you really do need to have the courage to try to make the world a better place. Because from my opinion and my view, I don't volunteer much. I do donate when I can for things like that, but I think they're just such small things. I never really dive into it. And I think that might be a common thing for people that are a little bit afraid to just jump into volunteering and making the world a better place, So I just wanted to thank you for throwing that in there.
Yeah, no problem.
So welcome, Henry.
Thank you.
Let's start by talking about your company. It may interest our viewers that you are a fairly new company run by young people with a really fresh vision. So I have 3 questions for you to start with that talk about that. I'd like to know how long you've been in business, what do you make, and what was the inspiration for what you do?
Sure. Yeah, you could probably tell from my face that I am young, and we are also a young company. We've been around for about a year and a half now. And we make embroidered patches like this one. So, nice. Yeah, the inspiration to make these patches started with the idea that we wanted to keep more tourism dollars in local economies. A lot of people, tourists visit a community and aren't really able to make the positive impact on the community that they want. And so we came up with this basically easy way that tourists can get back to a community that they're visiting by just buying one of our souvenir patches. And one of those patches will benefit a local nonprofit in the place that it represents. So we partner with local nonprofits all across the country. And the inspiration sort of back to the intro was just our attempt at making the world a little bit better, a little bit more sustainable and impactful.
Perfect. Can you talk, I think I'd like to also ask or put in here, I would like to put a plug in for your co-founder, Rachel Willis, how you met and, how you kind of started the company.
Sure. I mean, it's a pretty funny story, I would say. We are both Army veterans, and we met while serving in South Korea, and had just talked about starting a company one day, an impactful company, one that makes the world a little bit better. And it so happened that Rachel was traveling, and I started to think about starting my company, and I gave her a call, sort of pitched her the idea. And I think because she was on the road, maybe in that travel mindset, she really connected with the idea, and we just decided to go for it. And the rest is history, as they say.
All right. So you have a very provocative tagline that says, give where you go. Can you tell me what does give where you go mean, and how does it embody Outpatch as a company, and what kind of charitable organizations do you typically hook up with?
Yeah, so our slogan is give where you go, and it's really meant as a call to action for tourists, travelers, even locals, to basically leave places better than you found them. And for us, that means, if you visit a place that you have some kind of positive impact on the community. In our case, that means, part of the proceeds of the patch that you're going to buy to remember that experience are going to go towards a local nonprofit in that place. And the types of nonprofits that we work with are all locally led. So that means they're made up of people from the community that they're working to support. And they're usually addressing some kind of immediate need like food insecurity, but also working on it from a systems level approach. So trying to create more sustainable local food systems, for example. And that's really the winning combination that we look for in the nonprofits that we work with.
Nice. Yeah, it's a very powerful call to action. And I love your explanation of it. So Madeira has led the way with sustainability, and they have been for so many years. And they've come out with a couple of new products recently that kind of fell into play with your company. The Polyester Green, that's 100% recycled. The PET plastic bottles, so the post-consumer waste is what's being used to make the Polyester Green, which is a product that runs and is as beautiful as its original predecessor, the Polyneon. It's a major checkbox for your company and what you make for products. So how did you find Madeira? What was your process of finding it, which was basically at the same time the product was being launched, ironically?
Yeah, so it was really important for us introducing a new product into the world that be as sustainably made as possible, especially in an industry like the souvenir industry and the promotional item industry, which we also work within, where there's a lot of plastic waste. So we were really looking for thread material that was sustainable. And we kind of just started researching and came upon the Polyester Green thread that Madeira makes, and it just released, it so happened, while we were looking for it. And I think it was a perfect match because not only is the thread made out of recycled plastic, which is sustainable in itself, but it's recycled post-consumer plastic. So it's plastic that already exists, in our oceans or landfills, that's being taken, recycled, and turned into this thread. So it actually takes out plastic that already exists in the world and reuses it in a sustainable way. And that just felt like a perfect fit for us. And it's wild to us still that we can, create these beautiful patches out of recycled plastic.
Absolutely. It was kind of a match made in heaven. I just wanted to give your patches a little plug because I also have one of your Outpatch Give Where You Go patch. The patches are made so beautifully. They are all thread on the top, which gives it so much, this is a simpler design. Some of the other ones have a little more detail in them. But the clarity, I can't say enough how nice they are made. These are made the old-fashioned way, which has the beautiful marrow edge around it. What is on the back is a peel-off paper with the adhesive that allows you to stick it. I don't have anything to stick it to, so anyways, you can stick this on your hat. You can stick it on your left chest. And Henry, correct me if I'm wrong, but then you have directions that come with these, and you use an iron or heat press to kind of permanently adhere them onto a hat or garment, bag, or cup, or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, all of our patches come on these backing cards. You can see they're pretty cute. And
yeah, that was awesome. That one has some nice detail in it.
Instructions on the back.
The QR code, nice.
Yeah, but that's basically it. They're stick on, and you actually don't even need to iron or heat press them on. Just a little bit of heat from a blow dryer, and they will stick on to anything.
Kind of sets
pretty unique in that respect. Yeah.
Absolutely, it's a great product. Why did you choose patches, by the way? How did you kind of come to terms with choosing that as your sustainable souvenir?
Yeah, well, like I said, Rachel and I, my business partner, both come from the military, where there are a lot of patches. They're used to designate your rank, your unit, exercises that you participate in. So they were always sort of around for us. But also on a more personal level, patches were always the souvenir that I collected. And I always loved getting just this little minimalist memento from every place that I visited, and thought that, we could make a better, more sustainable version of it.
Absolutely. And I mean, patches last forever. They go back quite a few years, and, even some of the older ones that weren't even as detailed as they are nowadays, you could come across those in probably somebody's memento box, and they're still, in great shape. So it really is a great souvenir, for sure. And, we as an industry for embroidery are certainly seeing patches kind of taken off again. And we'll be including as a link in these videos for a tutorial on how to make patches. So, somebody else can do it. So that, having said that, so if somebody wanted to get into a business with embroidery, whether it was patches or something else, do you have any advice for them? Somebody starting out with a new business.
Yeah. I think the standard piece of advice is to just start. And so I will include that. But I think there is a right way to start. And I think one of the things you can do to make sure you're the most prepared to start a business is just talk to as many people as you can, whether that's your future customers or people who you usually turn to for advice, even if they're giving you, constructive criticism or they don't get the idea. It's really important to just talk to as many people as possible about the business that you want to start, because it'll give you a whole wealth of insight for what to expect, even though, running a business is pretty much just about dealing with the unexpected every day.
It is. You don't know what you don't know, but certainly by asking people that have done it or, have a great mind for business, they're always going to have some great advice for you. So that's really good advice. Ask lots of questions to lots of people.
Exactly.
For sure. So going back to your local connections, Madeira USA headquarters is right in New Hampshire. You're right next to us in Vermont. For anybody who's watching that doesn't know that, we're up in the Northeast of the U.S. Together, our two states are smaller than probably, 80, 90% of the states that are out there. So we're pretty close. So New Hampshire's pretty touristy, as well as Vermont. People come from all over the world to see all the beautiful foliage in the fall. They come here skiing. So we're very touristy. So as a local person, I try to go visit the shops that are local here to me in the Lakes region, certainly up in the White Mountains. There's a lot of shops. So whenever there's shops around, I typically go in there. I like to look for jewelry, made by local artisans. And, this is where I envision your patches being someday locally. And I look forward to that day when I walk into one of our shops, whether I'm here locally or if I'm traveling somewhere else. I look forward to that day where I'm going to see one of your displays of patches that are local to that area. So that being said, where can somebody purchase your products?
Yeah, the easiest place is probably our website, which is outpatch.org. We have all our designs up there, and you can also read about the artists that did the design and the nonprofits that they benefit. So that's probably the easiest place. We do also sell to about 100 retailers across the country, and I don't have that list off the top of my head, but like you said, hopefully you'll be traveling one day and walk into a store and see our patches there.
Thank you. So thank you so much, Henry, for sharing so much of your story with us today. Is there anything else that you would like to include that maybe we didn't cover at this time?
Nothing really beyond just a thank you to Madeira and I guess anyone watching that's part of your community, we've really appreciated partnering with sort of an industry leader, an organization that's been around for a long time. And as a newcomer, it's been really helpful to have that partnership, especially when it comes to bringing more sustainability into this industry, which is always an uphill battle. But we appreciate the partnership and the belief that it's the right thing to do.
Well, thank you, Henry. We appreciate what you're doing as well. And thank you again for spending the time with us. So today we are talking with Henry Rosario. He is the co-founder of Outpatch in White River Junction, Vermont, making sustainable souvenirs with recycled materials, collaborating locally, and supporting charitable organizations at the same time. You can find them at outpatch.org. They're on Facebook and Instagram. And you can find Madeira USA at madeirausa.com, where you will find the world's premium embroidery thread, including sustainable and recycled products, such as our Polyester Green. Madeira USA is your one-stop shop for all your machine embroidery needs, selling threads, backing, bobbins, and accessories. My name is Nancy Minnie. I'm here with Madeira USA, and I want to thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.